Hi and welcome back to my YouTube channel. On today's class we'll be sewing an hourglass underbust corset. In my previous video we drafted this, so if you haven't seen the video yet, just go down to my previous video. Please stick to the end of the video to get the full detail, and also like, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel. So I've gone ahead and cut out my pattern. I added 1/2 inch round, but for the center front and for the back I did not add 1/2 inch. I'm going to unpin my pattern paper and I'm going to place it accordingly so that I won't misplace one for the other one. So you have to be careful here, and I also numbered it, so follow the pattern. So here you have it. I'm going to unpin my first pattern, and I'm going to be joining it in the front or be sewing it with 1/2 in the front. So you have to be careful so that you don't misplace it. So I'll go ahead and open my second pattern to the front side. As you can see, the front side is shiny, and I'm just going to place it together, and I'm going to use pin to hold it. So the difference in the material is that the front part is shiny while the back part is not shining. So I'm making use of a doll face. You can make use of any material of your choice. You can make use of an Ankara or any other material as long as it doesn't stretch. So I'm going to open the other pattern. So I'm going to place front side together and I'm going to pin it. So the reason why I'm pinning it this way is so that I don't misplace or I don't join the wrong pattern to another pattern. If not, I might get confused along the line. So after pinning it, I'm going to open the other one and place it to the other side also, and I'll go ahead and I'll pin it to it together. So I'll go ahead and pin the last front pattern. So I'm also going to use pin, and I'm going to pin it the second time. I'll pin all the pattern accordingly to the second time. So the reason why I'm repinning it in case the other pin falls off or it doesn't hold or sit very well. After pinning my front pattern, I'm going to bring my back pattern, and as you can see, I placed it accordingly: B3, B2 and B1. If you can remember from our drafting, B3 is the side that joins the front side. So I'm going to be joining from B3, then I'll join B2, then join B1, which is the side you're going to have your loop. I'm also going to mark my chalk on the wrong side so that I won't get confused or it won't look confusing to you, since my front and my back is almost the same thing or the same color. So it's time to join the back pattern to the front pattern, and I'm going to pick up my B3 and I'm going to open it. So I'll place one at the other side. After placing it to that other side and pinning, I'm going to go ahead and take the other one also, and I'll pin to the other side. After pinning B3, I'll also go back and pick up B2, and I'm going to pin it together. So while pinning, I'm pinning it in front. We are going to be joining it in front. Later we are going to be trimming it out. So the reason why we are doing this is to create a clean and neat finishing at the back. So I'll go ahead and join my B2 at both sides. So if there is anything you don't understand in this tutorial, please draw my attention by dropping any complaint or anything you don't understand at the comment section. After pinning my B2, I'll go ahead and pin my B1, which is the last part of this pattern. After pinning all my pattern, I'm going to go ahead and join it. So I will be joining it in front with 1/2. So if you notice my pattern, I added 1/2 round. Please sew with that 1/2 if it's 1/2 that you added. Please sew correctly. Sew out that ½ inch you added. If not, your hourglass underbust corset will be very big, bigger than what you want, and it won't give you a good fitting, and it's not going to snatch your waistline or reduce your waistline. So here you have it. I'm done joining my pattern. So while joining it, at the center pattern, I cut out a lace and I placed it before joining it. So you can decide to do anything at the center just to give it that stylish look. And as you can see, I sewed out exactly ½ inch. So it's very important to sew out the correct allowance to give you that final fitting that you like to have in your underbust hourglass corset. So after doing that, I'm just going to use my scissors and I'm going to trim out the excess I have. So I'm going to trim close to my seam allowance. So be careful while you're trimming to avoid trimming out your sewing. So this is my back. As you can see, it is very neat. So I'll go ahead and continue trimming the front because I'm not done trimming. So at this point we'll be working with our boning. So what I'm going to do is, this is a strip I cut. So I'm going to place it and I'm going to sew half. Then I'm going to fold it, and I'm going to create a boning casing. So you can go ahead and repeat this process and all this. Then you pass your sewable boning inside and then pass your plastic sewing. Or I'm going to go to the machine and I'm going to show you another method. That method is what I will also be using. The only difference is that the first one is less stressful, while the second one gives you a very stable look or finishing to your boning. So let's go over to the machine and start. So I've marked out the center where I'll be creating the boning channel, and this is the strips I cut. I'll be wrapping the boning with the strips I cut. So first you have to measure your boning. So I'm working with is 0.5. So I cut about 1.2. So I was supposed to cut 1.5, but most times I prefer working with less than, so that it doesn't get too bulky for me. So I'm just going to wrap it around and sew. But if you're finding it difficult to sew, you're just going to place the fabric you cut out, then place your boning and then start sewing from one side. So after sewing from one side, you're going to go ahead and tuck in the other side and sew. So if you're using a manual machine just like this and it's not sewing, you can also change your needle to size 21 if you're using size 18. So I'll continue sewing to the end. After sewing to the end, I'll go ahead and sew the other side just the same way. But before sewing, you're just going to flip it in this way and then hold it down while sewing and then sew gently on it. Remember also to sew at the tip of the original boning because you're going to be passing a plastic boning through it. The plastic boning I'm passing through is a bit smaller. I'm also going to continue this process for all the other boning casing to the end. So when I'm done doing this, I'm just going to show you because sewing it one after the other might take a lot of time and will make this video too long. So I'm done sewing all my boning casing. So I'm also going to pass my plastic sewing underneath it. Make sure you buy a bigger sewable boning, that's virgining boning, and then buy a smaller plastic sewing because you're going to be passing it through it. With this, it's going to make your corset firm, and it's also called the double boning method. It's a method whereby you use both the virgining boning and the sewable boning. So after I'm going to sew ½ inch, I'll be leaving half inch, then sew half for my boning, then leave 0.75 for the eyelets, and then sew another 0.5 for my boning channel. I'll be attaching boning to that part to make the part for the loop, or the part I'm going to attach my eyelet to be firm. So I've gone ahead and I've sewed half, just like I said, from the back. I'll go ahead and flip it to the front, then make sure it's flat. Then I'll sew 0.5 for my boning, then measure 0.75 for my eyelet, and then measure 0.5 and then fold it in and top stitch. That will be for my second boning. So I'll go to the machine and do that. So I've gone ahead and sewed the both sides. So the material I use is a stable material, so that's why I didn't attach stay to it. So you can attach stay or soft gum stay to have that very flat or firm look. So I'm just going to go ahead and pass my sewable boning. So I'm just going to be passing it at the both sides. So before putting all my sewable boning, I'm going to cut out a tiny piece of sewable boning and I'm going to sew it at the tip of our underbust corset. If you remember, when we were drafting, we went up by 1 inch. So at that place, you're going to attach a sewable boning to give it a firm fitting there. So I've gone ahead and I've sewed it down. So at this other side, you can as well sew a sewable boning on it if you want it to be very firm to hold your waist. Sorry, to hold your underbust very well. But I won't be sewing to mine because I don't really like my underbust to be tight, so that I'll feel more relaxed. So you can go ahead and attach a sewable boning to that part. So after doing that, I'm going to cut a fabric, a black fabric, and I'm also going to wrap the down part of this underbust hourglass corset. So I've gone ahead and wrapped the other part. So this is what I have at this side. So I'll also go back and do for the other side before I will now be finishing it on top with a plain fabric too. Then I'll go ahead and also wrap the down part. So in case you don't understand what I've been saying, so you're just going to attach your fabric this way from the back and you're going to sew. Then later you're going to flip it and you're going to top stitch it. So I've gone ahead and I've wrapped the down parts and the upper part. So this is what my underbust hourglass corset looks like. So as you can see, my back is also neat. So I'm just going to take this upper part. So this is what my underbust corset looks like. It's very neat. So I'm just going to take this upper part and then fold it in this way, and then I will go ahead and top stitch. With that, I'm going to conceal the rough edges of two sides. Then I'll install my eyelets and then show you the final look of finishing of our underbust hourglass corset. So this is the result after sewing my hourglass underbust corset. As you can see, my waist is snatched. So if you like this video, if you find it educative, please like, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and don't forget to turn up the notification button and drop your comments at the comment section.